Hey guys, and welcome back to another story from Tales from Tech Support. As always, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, as it really helps me in the channel. Don't forget to drop a comment in the box below with your thoughts on the video. Today I am bringing you two stories. Story 1, the tale of moving a server which cannot be powered down 5 miles to a new office. And story 2, 10 seconds for $10,000. The tale of a moving server which cannot be powered down. I just remembered this one, and at the time it felt like just another day in cowboy IT. Now in hindsight I see it for the mad and brilliant plan it was. The scenario: SMB, who outgrew their office and in-office data center, migrated to a new office building and most things out to a data center. There was, however, still a few things in the old office building and a rapidly looming end of lease date, by which point the office had to be empty. So we come to the problem. I don't recall the name of the server. This was around 2009 or so, and the server was a ML350, which wasn't particularly new even at the time. This server had some crucial software that we needed for 6 more months. Now the old office only had a 2 Mbps leased line, and the server had a lot of data with the software. Of course, the office was closing in 3 months, so a review was done. Do we attempt to migrate the data? Well, it's not needed for more than 6 months, at which point it can all go. It would have taken a lot of time and effort to build a replacement server and migrate the data. Do we power it down and move it? Nope, can't do that either. Server is so flaky it might not ever come back up. In comes the hero of the story. We'll call him Phil because it seems to fit. Phil suggests we simply move the server without powering it down. The server has 2 power supplies. If we take this spare rack mount UPS and put it in the car, run a long power cord to the server, we can carry it down the stairs while it's running, and then get it in the car. We can move it while it's powered on and get it in its new rack. Simple. So this sounded horrendous. So of course we got the let's do it mandate. This is the way this beautiful horrendous piece of IT went down. UPS sat in the car boot with a power cord waiting for the server. Using the wall sockets on the way from the upstairs server room to the car park, multiple different power cords were daisy chained into 2 power supplies of the server until a long extension lead got it out the door and into the car boot. The nerve-wracking 5-mile car ride with a continually beeping UPS warning its mains power is off and spinning SCSI discs then took place. The carry of the server and daisy chaining of the power cords ensued. Luckily this time it was downstairs, however. The server was eventually situated in its new racky home. We didn't lose any discs, but a few people lost some hair. Edit to add. One of the suggestions below about virtual machines reminded me. We did try to P2V it using VMware Converter, and we would have obviously carried the VMDKs out on a USB hard drive or simple 1-disk NAS, etc. We could have trickled out the data for the half hour or so for the drive and import, but the P2V failed because the Windows install was so screwed that the agent couldn't even install to start. Thus our choices became limited. Guys, this is a great story. Let me know in the box below how you would have transported this server. Would you have got a lorry? Would you have found extra power units to keep it going? What would you have done? Let me know. Story 2, 10 seconds for $10,000. This story happened when I first joined my current company, and while I was not the one that actually had to deal with the problem, I was bystanding and heard the juicy parts from my mentor himself. Exactly 2 days before a major festive celebration, we get a call from user who is panicking because one of his equipment failed and production had come to a screeching halt. Now, I work in a company that services critical process equipment in a country with a distinct west half and east half, separated by the sea. Important as we are based in the western half. The client was a major refining plant for the petroleum industry. As we normally do, we go through the usual troubleshooting steps. Did you turn this on? Is this connection active? Yada yada yada. But the only answer coming from the user was yes, 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 with nothing seemingly wrong. This went on for about half an hour when suddenly our boss comes in. The client's head of production had just called him and was apparently livid. It turns out the machine had stopped working for more than an hour and the production was severely interrupted until the problem got fixed. Now everyone was in panic, as every hour the production was interrupted the client was losing money in the tens of thousands, and the client had the right to sue us for any damages that occur as a result of equipment downtime. Head was not happy that their internal team was not able to fix the problem, and user was not making any headway in fixing the problem via phone. To resolve the issue, Head demanded that support be performed immediately on site. Coming back to my earlier point, 1. It's the festive season. 2. They are across the sea. Travelling was a bit of a problem, but Head said money was not an issue and they would pay anything for immediate on-site support. QM, my mentor, who was handed the unsavoury task of handling the emergency. Immediately he grabbed his tools and sped off to the airport to grab the next available flight. At the same time, his wife had to pack some clothes for him from home and rushed to pass it to him at the airport. Due to the festive season, M didn't have choices for flights, so in the end he had to take a $1,000 business class flight. Normally flights to where the client is located cost less than $80. We're a developing country, so yeah. Upon arriving, M was whisked from the airport with a driver, sent immediately to the refinery and granted immediate security clearance to enter the plant. Anyone working in petroleum would know how big a deal this is. By this time, a good 6 hours or so had passed since we received the call and well into the night. Greeting him in front of the equipment was Head, user and various other senior management personnel, all anxious to see what the problem is. M is a guy with no chill, and he was also the one originally speaking to user on the phone. He recounts his part, so I'm paraphrasing for him. Head: so what is the problem? M: wait, let me take a look. Starts to go through the normal troubleshooting checklist, but stops almost immediately. M: user: are you sure you checked everything I asked you to? User: yes, everything, word for word. M: are you absolutely sure? User: yes. M: do you remember what was the third thing I asked you to check over the phone? User: why does it matter? Just fix the G problem. M: the first thing we normally check is to make sure the PC is turned on. Points at the CPU LED indicator. M: the second thing we check is to make sure the equipment is on. Points to the machine LED. M: the third thing, he brings his hand to a gas control valve, rotates it, and as a loud hiss is heard, the gas line pressurizes and the equipment beeps. Is to make sure the gas is on. User: Head. Everyone else in the room: I would like to go have dinner now. After more awkward silence, Head thanks M for his effort and asks the driver to bring M somewhere for dinner. You'd think the story ends here, but there's more. By the time M finished his dinner, it was well past midnight, so he checked himself into a hotel for the night. The next day he went back to the airport and found out that all flights were completely sold out for the next 4 days due to the festive travelling. He called my boss to inform him that he was basically stranded, and my boss just coolly said to him, well M, consider this as having a free holiday paid by the client. So M checks into the most luxurious hotel in the area, spends the next 4 days basically on vacation before coming back to work. In total, we billed the client for $10,000 for flights, hotel, emergency arrangements, allowances, etc. All for 10 seconds to check LEDs and turn a valve. This is not including the losses from halting the production. It's still one of our most memorable stories that we recount to new hires or clients in our industry. Sometimes we wonder what happened to user, but he was transferred out of his role not too long after this incident. TLDR, client pays $10,000 for a super easy job that could be done themselves, and my mentor gets a free holiday. Well guys, what do you think to that story? It sounds like someone should be fired for inadvertently not knowing how to use a computer and use a gas valve. Let me know in the comments box below what you think to this story, and as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, as it really helps this channel and it really helps me, and I look forward to seeing you on the next story. Bye now.